Hey everybody, my name is Sathiya Sam and I am a porn addiction recovery coach and a motivational speaker. And it is such a pleasure to be here on the Impactus platform. I'm really excited to speak with you today about a topic that we talk a lot about in my communities. My communities are called the deep clean communities. So if you hear me use that term, that's what I'm talking about. But this is not specific if you're struggling with porn or anything else like that. This is really for every single human being on the planet, as long as you have a pulse. And what it's specifically about is the nightlife. Now, the reason we talk about nightlife a lot in the deep clean communities is because winning the night really is how you win the day. And a lot of my guys experience relapses. They experience slips when they're up late at night. They're scrolling through. They can't fall asleep. And one thing sort of leads to another. And then they either have a relapse or they end up making a decision that they regret the next day. And that's really not a nice feeling. So today we're talking about how to win the night, how to do that really well. And I want to give you 3 particular things that you can really think about that I believe will help tremendously. And I believe that not just because I've witnessed the value in my clients, but I've experienced in my own personal life. These are things that I do literally every single night, just about, maybe not perfectly, but pretty close. The first thing is I stop all screen time an hour before I go to bed. So I usually fall asleep around 10:30, 10:45, somewhere in there. So at 9:30 is when I shut my laptop, put the phone away, and that is the end of it. And it's been scientifically shown that generally speaking, any sort of screen is stimulating for the brain. And when you give your brain that little bit of space to relax, it actually allows you to fall into your sleep cycles a lot more quickly. So number one, simply put, don't look at a screen basically the hour before you go to bed. Now, if you want to stay up late, you want to watch a hockey game, or I love basketball, so sometimes there's a good game going on the West Coast that's still running. That's no problem, but just a lot for that time after you're done watching to let your mind unwind and let yourself decompress. It's quite likely that if you try to go to bed immediately after you watch or after you get some screen time, it's going to be a little bit harder for your brain to fall asleep. Now, if you do it as a one-off, maybe not such a big deal, but we're talking about the regular rhythms here. If you do it habitually, it will eventually catch up with you. Number 1, watch your screen time. Second thing, and this is a really big one for me as well, put your phone on the other side of the room at the very least, and ideally charge it in a different room. So that means that when you enter your bedroom, you are not on your phone, you're not doing anything else. All you're doing is getting ready and then going to bed. So don't have your phone by your nightstand. That is honestly probably the worst thing you can do. And I've heard every single excuse in the book of why you should do it. Oh, well, if it goes off, what if somebody needs to get a hold of me? What if I don't catch my alarm? All that kind of stuff. So here's the deal. It's very simple. Number 1, you can start by just putting it on the other side of the room. So if somebody calls, you're still going to hear it. It's not like it's in the other room and you can't hear it. Number 2, you can buy an alarm clock. So buying an alarm clock, you can get them like $20 on Amazon, but that's going to it's going to remove your phone. It's not even going to make it an option. And it's going to allow your mind to really focus and really just to get into that sleep state as quickly as possible. And that, of course, is the goal for quality sleep. We don't want to be rolling around in the bed. We don't want to be just lying up, looking at the ceiling, like wondering, when am I going to fall asleep, and trying to get our thoughts together. The more quickly you fall asleep, the better it's going to be. So number 1 is try to avoid screen time an hour before you go to bed. Number 2, keep your phone out of reach, ideally in another room, but if not in another room, at least on the other side of the bed. And that's going to be helpful for the morning as well, because it means when your alarm goes off, you actually have to physically get yourself out of bed. Very good tactic if that's something you're looking for help with. That's just a little bonus piece, because my last and my third tip for helping you win the night is to have a consistent routine. Now, I'm not talking about like some 45-minute routine and you have 7 things and you do them all one by one and you check them off a list. Nobody's got time for that. We're not talking about anything elaborate here. But here's my nighttime routine, okay? I get into my pajamas. I brush and floss my teeth. Yes, I'm one of those guys who flosses. and I read for anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. So it's very simple, things that you're generally doing anyway, but I do them in that order and I do them every night. And there's one simple reason. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Neurons that fire together, wire together. So sleep research shows, and research, especially in the addiction recovery space, shows that your brain makes associations very easily. And so if your brain knows every time that you get changed into your pajamas, that you brush and floss your teeth and you read for a little while, that it's bedtime, then as you do that consistently, those same neurons that are firing to get you going through those routines are going to be the same neurons that will fire to help you fall asleep. Neurons that fire together, wire together, and you will start to form a neural association. You'll actually form a circuit in your brain, and that is going to allow you to fall asleep a lot more easily. You'll actually get your physiology working for you, and it'll come more naturally. So those are my top 3 tips for winning the night. And like I said, whether you struggle with an addiction or not, we all need a good night's sleep to be at our best and to perform everything that God has called us to do. So watch your screen time, watch your phone placement, and have a good routine in place. These 3 things are going to help you win the night. Thanks so much for listening, guys. We'll talk soon.